everybody. This is Roy from Small Town Underground. Welcome, and this is another special edition show that we are bringing to you, all about your health, all about your lifestyle living, and a change of pace in this crazy world we're living in. So I have a guest with me. Her name is Emily Faulkner, and she is here because we're going to talk about an event that she's got coming up in November called the Farmstead Forum 2025. And Emily, I've got to talk to her a little bit, and we're getting to know each other. And as we journey through this world where we're taking back our health, we're taking back our livelihood, it's very important that we understand that what we've been told, what we've learned throughout the years about medicine, about how to eat properly. You know, there's a lot of things that we can change that can really benefit our family and our health. And Emily has went down this road, and now she's doing these events. So I wanted to bring her on the show so we could kind of share some things and hopefully drum up some people that will come to the event. So I just want to welcome you, Emily, to the show, and I'd like you to introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us kind of where you were, how you came to this point.
Well, hello, everybody. Thanks, Roy, for having me on. So I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of my background, how I started the Farmstead Forum. I started questioning things in the medical system. I'm a nurse practitioner. Around COVID, when all that happened, I lost faith in the medical establishment, every three-letter organization. I started questioning things, what I'd been taught in school. And so I developed a passion for herbal medicine. I took an herbal fellowship through an online course, and then that kind of like naturally trickled into homesteading.
Hmm.
I spent a lot of time talking to my patients about their diet and how that plays a crucial role in their health, how, their food choices are affecting things that are even, out of my control, trying to fix as a medical professional. I'm telling them, you got to focus on your diet, focus on that first, and then we'll worry about the other things, because that's going to fix probably 80% of your problems.
Right.
Um, so I started, learning about how important it is to be closely connected to where your food comes from. And of course, ideally, that would be you having a hand in, growing a garden or raising meat rabbits like we do. We have New Zealand rabbits
Hmm.
on a small property. But even just knowing your farmer and knowing what questions to ask and how that matters with how the food, the nutrient density of the food that you're eating, all that stuff is important to know when you're trying to make healthier choices for your health, for your diet.
Absolutely. Yeah. You brought up a couple of good points. You know, I think a lot of people kind of woke up during the COVID pandemic and realized that, nothing is what it seems anymore. You know, it seems to me like whenever you get sick, you go to the doctor now. It's almost like a copy and a paste. There's always a pill for everything. But we've really gotten away from the things, the more natural, the God-given things in this life that can heal our bodies. And I think you're 100% right that most of our ailments stem from eating bad food, poisons that we put in our bodies. So,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So basically, you just kind of went through this, and then you decided to make your own lifestyle change and start doing things yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about the things that you started doing? Like you said, you Australian, was it New Zealand rabbits?
Yeah, so I have New Zealand meat rabbits. Uh, you know, Meat rabbits are good for a small homestead because they're quiet. They of course breed like rabbits, as the
Mm-hmm.
saying goes, so you
Right.
can produce a lot of meat. If you have two does and one buck, so the buck is the male, that's how you refer to males and for the rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
If you have just two does, you can produce, I believe it's something like over 350 pounds of meat per year,
Wow.
and that's with a good breeding program. We're not that intense,
Mm-hmm.
but we do, we breed several times a year. And my boys actually help us with processing the rabbits and harvesting them, and they have a little side business of dehydrated dog treats. So
Oh
they'll use
wow.
the feet, the heads, the some of the organs, the hide. You can even dehydrate. and use that for a dog treat. The fur is good for the dog's digestive tract. So the boys sell those at our local farm store.
Oh, wow.
And we also garden, have a lean-to greenhouse. So it's like about 16 by 8 feet.
Mm.
And I do all my seed starts in there. I keep my citrus trees in there over the winter, and then I bring them out in the summertime. And then I'm on 2 acres, which is why I don't have like sheep and all sorts of other
Mm-hmm.
livestock. But my parents live adjacent to us. So this goes into like generational family homesteading as a benefit. They have 20 acres behind me.
Okay.
It's not all fenced off, but I can use the pasture for my raised bed garden. So I have like 4 by 50 foot long beds that are raised, and um, I'm about done with the raised beds. So honestly, I'm just ready to plow them over and just
I got
plant in the
you.
ground. Anyway, so but that's where I do most of our garden. And yeah, we raise a lot of the vegetables that we eat. We try to
Mm-hmm.
can, freeze, dehydrate, and preserve what we can grow.
Wow. Now, how much of this did you know before you decided to go down? Like, did you just kind of realize this, or is this something that you might have learned growing up and then just decided to, just start doing? Or how hard was it for you to get involved into this?
I had my grandfather had a garden, but I wasn't old enough to appreciate or learn from him. I was like maybe 5 years old when
Hmm.
I lived across the street from my grandparents. So I never really absorbed anything growing up. I guess it was about 10 years ago I started to want to learn how to grow tomatoes.
I got you.
And they're not easy to grow, by the way.
They're not.
So it's taken me about 8 to 10 years to grow a substantial crop to last through the freeze.
Right.
Um, so I kind of just self-taught. I mean,
Hmm.
I haven't, I didn't have anyone to show me. My mom had chickens like when I was in middle school. Like my parents moved out here. We live in Heard County, in Georgia, and my parents got some chickens, but
Hmm.
that's about as far as they took it. And my stepdad would always garden, but they never really, I guess,
Right.
taught me those things. It's just something you got to learn sometimes.
Right.
And what is the saying? It takes like 2 generations to lose that knowledge.
Oh,
like
yes.
like literally all the canning and the gardening, livestock care. I mean, animal husbandry is a whole nother
Right.
issue as far as learning and knowing how to take care of livestock.
Hmm. Yeah, well, we live in a state that's pretty much number one agriculture, and it seems like we are kind of slipping away generationally, like from doing these things, right? And I think there's a lot of
Hmm.
interest in people that are wanting to pick this back up, and so. Like you said, if you've studied this now for about 8 to 10 years, and now you're actually putting on events that are starting to teach people how to do this, right? So it's not like
Yeah,
it's impossible to do, correct?
and it's never too late to start.
Right.
You always have to start somewhere, and just because you didn't grow up in that doesn't mean you can't learn how
Hmm.
to, accomplish that in your on your homestead.
Right.
So,
And we were talking a little bit too about there are even ways where people that don't have a lot of land can still utilize, just small things that people can do, right? That can just change things and bring more of this homesteading into their life, correct?
absolutely. If you want to get into gardening, but you have either like a small neighborhood that you live in or even an apartment, you can learn about raised beds or container gardening. You can go to your local farmer's market and get fresh vegetables and, can those instead of canning homegrown. You can can your market vegetables. Um, get to know local farmers, reach out on some Facebook groups and ask who does pasture raised poultry or non-GMO meats, those kind of things. As far as like sourdough bread making,
Right.
there's
Mm-hmm.
a whole thing with that's possible to do anywhere.
Yes.
Um, Another topic I like that I think is starting to get popular in homesteading is fermented foods and the
Mm-hmm.
importance of fermented foods in our diet. And you can do that anywhere.
Yeah. Certain things we've done, we don't have we've done some raised beds before. We do a lot, my wife and my family, we do a lot of flowers, a lot of flower beds and different things. But, we've started outsourcing our meat in the county to local farmers. We don't buy meat anymore at the store. We buy it in bulk. We start making our own bread, just little things that we can do. I've canned over the years, but we've kind of gotten away from that because of time. But again, it's those little things like we've started making our bread where I can't even like eat a loaf of bread from the store anymore. Like it's just like I've got to have our bread or it's nothing. So absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the Farmstead Forum 2025.
So we have so many, we got over 20 speakers coming.
Oh, wow.
These are mostly from the Southeast. I only have one couple that's coming from Indiana. The rest are like from Georgia, Tennessee, North Alabama. I wanted the content to be applicable for Southern homesteaders because I feel when you're going to a conference, I actually started going to a homestead conference in Tennessee 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, excuse me. It was right after COVID. And that's what kind of made me want to bring something like that to Georgia because I didn't hear about anything like that in Georgia.
Right.
And so, but I wanted the content to be applicable for our region. I don't need gardening advice from somebody that lives in, Idaho or,
Right.
somewhere where the climate's not at all our humid, southern climate. So,
Mm-hmm.
so our speakers are excellent. I would say also there's workshops. We
Mm-hmm.
have our main events on November 7th and 8th in Carrollton, Georgia. And the day before, on November the 6th, we're having a canning workshop and an herbal medicine workshop.
Oh, wow.
So those are separate. Our herbal medicine workshop is with Daryl Patton. He's known as the Southern herbalist, and he's kind of like the go-to guy for mountain medicine, folk
Mm-hmm.
medicine.
Mm-hmm.
He has this long, scraggly beard. He's very entertaining to listen to. So he's going to do like a foraging, like walkabout
Mm-hmm.
on the Buffalo Creek Trail that's right behind where our venue is. And then after the walkabout, there'll be a break for lunch. And then there'll be like an afternoon seminar where you're just writing notes about plant toxicities and things to avoid, how to dose things like poke root. Poke is considered poisonous, but if you know how to prepare it or how to
Right.
use it for medicine in a safe way, it can be very beneficial for pain. So that's Daryl's workshop. And then we also have Kayla Hales will be doing our canning class, canning workshop on the 6th. And that's in the afternoon from like 1 to 4.
Okay. Wow.
It'll be water bath canning. But our main event is on the 7th and 8th. It'll be like an 8 to 5 situation where you're doing sessions. There'll be 3 topics per time slot.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick whether you want to do a livestock related topic, gardening or homemaking or health related. We have naturopathic doctor coming. We have a functional medicine doctor coming. I also will be speaking as well as another nurse practitioner. And so, and we'll have topics, everything from gardening to, the nutrient density of freshly milled flour. I didn't ask you, when you make your bread, do y'all mill your flour? Have you gone down that rabbit hole?
No, we haven't milled the flour yet. So I think what she does, we go to like the Trader Joe's and get the most organic flour that we can get. But no, we haven't started milling our own flour yet. We've talked about it, but we're
Okay,
getting there.
write this down.
Yeah.
The Bread Beckers.
Okay.
Sue Becker, she teaches classes and talks about, she has a podcast.
Oh,
Her name
cool.
is Sue Becker. It's called Sue's Healthy Minutes. And she talks a lot about what the benefits are for freshly milled flour. So flour starts to degrade after about 48 hours. So like your vitamin E starts to degrade and everything else. And then you also lose a lot once it's processed, even though organic and healthy stuff. A lot of the like the I guess it's called the hull, the outer part of the germ of the wheat is filtered out. So you lose a lot of benefits with even buying just organic store-bought stuff. So, but listen to Sue's podcast. She's a good wealth of information.
Nice.
But there's topics on that, we'll have demos on food fermentation, a goat's milk soap making demo. So goat topics as well. I have a guy from near Athens, Georgia. Jason Allen, he's coming to talk about dairy goats. Have someone coming to talk about cattle and cattle health, dairy cow, as far as what nutrition they need for staying healthy. Um, for the health topics, we're going to be addressing vaccines as far as the ingredients in vaccines and just routine childhood vaccinations.
Mm-hmm.
What things to use in your home pharmacy if you choose not to vaccinate. Um, GI, gastrointestinal health, for like using herbs and homeopathy for natural medicines for gut health. What else are we talking about? We have 3 panels. So a panel is like where you have a group of speakers and the audience has free reign on questions related to that topic.
Okay.
So I have a farmer panel, we'll have a homemaker panel, and then we'll also have a medical panel. So those are my favorites personally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this event sounds absolutely amazing. In fact, this is where I believe the direction we need to be in our homes, our families, our communities, is getting back to what we can do more independently on our own, what we can do locally. Obviously, we know that corporations don't have our best interests, or the pharmaceutical for that matter. You mentioned herbal medicine. There's a lot of things out there that are considered, taboo or conspiracy. But, I believe that God provides everything we need on this planet to heal our bodies. And all we have to do is participate in it. We have to learn how to use these things. And you're right. We're just a couple generations away from losing it all. So it looks like an amazing event. So.
And we'll also have vendors too. I didn't mention that.
Okay.
Our vendors will be there for the main event days on the 7th and 8th. We have vendors that are selling herbal tinctures, like farm grown and homemade tinctures, crocheted items, crafts like Christmas gifts, sourdough supplies, or organic spices. I tried to incorporate a lot of local vendors like Georgia grown stuff, things people locally. Even one of our vendors will be, her husband is a wheat farmer in Georgia, and she'll be selling some of their homegrown soft red wheat berries. Very nice. When you mill the flour, you need hard wheat or soft wheat, and so that actually stays good for years. Yes. I just opened up some food grade buckets that from the bread bakers that somebody gave me, and they were like 20 to 25 years old. Nothing wrong with them.
Nope.
They're not rancid as long as they're stored properly.
That's right.
You have to either freeze it for a couple days, or they somehow treat it to keep the bugs and weevils and stuff out.
Oxygen absorbers. I actually have quite a bit of wheat berries in storage. Mine are about 8.5 years old right now, but they're
well,
stored.
See, you've already got some. You got something to start with if y'all start milling your flour.
There you go. So absolutely. So how can people find out more about this event?
So our website is farmsteadforum.com. We also have a discount code on our website. It's 25 off, and you get 25% off all workshops and tickets. We also have camping on site for those of you who are traveling from out of town. You can stay, from the 6th through the 8th, check out on the 9th. We have, everything on the website on the homepage. It's pretty self-explanatory, links you to where the speakers, the topics, everything's right there on the homepage, and the tickets are still available. We've got plenty of tickets left to sell. And we also have, if you're local to the West Georgia area, say if you got to work Monday through Friday, you can't come Friday, we do have a Saturday only ticket option if that interests you, as well as a open to the public night market on Friday the 7th. So like from 4 to 7, we're doing several live demos, poultry processing demo, goats milking demo, sawmill, hand quilting. All of those are during our night market. We'll have a little bit of live music, and Pastor Denny Dillman, he calls himself the homesteading pastor. He'll be sharing a few words with us and singing. So it'll be a real jam-packed night market as well. And that's free if you're local and just want to travel in for the shopping.
Wow. This sounds absolutely amazing. It sounds like you put a lot of time and effort and thought into this. Amazing. I'm glad to know that people are out here and gathering and putting on these events. I think this is how we take our health back for sure. So, do you do any social media, or how can people connect with you?
So I do have, we have a Facebook page, a Facebook group. We have Instagram, and I also have a podcast on YouTube that I cover homesteading related topics. We've done a few herbal medicine series, like with Suzanne Shires is a master herbalist. I did a medicine series with her. And yeah, those are our three social media platforms I'm involved with.
That is awesome. Well, good deal. Good deal. We look to hopefully get some people to connect with you. I can't wait until I'm able to come and do some of these events with you guys and connect up, because that's what it's all about, getting people healthier, and especially for myself. I'm a 90 to nothing guy. I need all the healthy food and healthy choices I can get. So, all
That's
right.
right. And I also look at it from a standpoint of you need to know the people in your community that you can depend on.
Yeah.
If something hit us like Hurricane Helene,
Hmm.
those people had only their neighbors to
That's
depend
right.
on. And we're so far removed from just
Yes.
basic interpersonal relationships. It's all social media, you're
Hmm.
isolated. We need to get back to knowing our neighbors, knowing who we can count on, bartering with people in our community to just in case something were to happen, God forbid.
Yeah.
Um, it's really important to know who you can trust in your community.
That's right. That's awesome. And you're 100% right. Listen, I'm going to give you the last word, but I'd love to invite you back to the show. I'd love to be a part of helping spread the word if you got some things going. We really want to support this, and we want to get more people involved. So, but I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, thank you for having me, Roy. What I would say to people that are trying to get into homesteading is just take it one day at a time. It's a journey. It's not something that happens overnight. Just do what you're able to and bloom where you're planted. That's my best advice.
That's wonderful advice. Well, thank you so much, Emily, and we'll be continuing to promote this event. And guys, you can reach out to me. I can help you hook up. We've got we'll have all of the email information here, or the website information up here, and you can go and check out Emily's YouTube channel, and you just start preparing to get yourself healthier in the future. So we appreciate you being here on Small Town Underground.
Thank you, Roy. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you guys later.